Isang mapagpalang araw po! Kumusta po mga kamatinik? Welcome to our new episode, and sorry to announce that this is our last week for this quarter. This is quarter 4, week number 7. And today's episode, we will be talking about probability. But before that, I will present first the answer key from the previous episode natin, quarter 4, week number 6. Please check now your answers. Here is the answer key for quarter 4, week number 6. Ang ating math try nga! Number 1, the answer is letter D. Number 2, C. Number 3 is B. Number 4, the answer is letter C. And number 5, the answer is letter A. Ayan! Congratulations to those who got perfect score. Kaya naman abangan mamaya kung sino ang ating top 5 na sobrang bibilis na sumagot at nakakuha ng perfect score. At sila ang ating Mathinics of the Week. Pero dahil last week na natin to mga kamatinik, pwede nyo pa rin sagutin ang ating math try nga maya-maya. Then, I will check your answers in the comment section. Huwag mag-alala. Kaya't makinig, manood na't matuto kay Maestro Olaso. Oops! Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell kung bago ka pa lang dito sa channel ko para updated ka sa mga bago kong video. Like, share, and don't skip the ads, mga kamatinik, para happy tayo. Ayan, simulan na natin ang ating aralin. Okay. Many events can be predicted with total certainty. The best we can say is how likely they are to happen. Okay, gaano ba kadalas? And we will use the idea about probability. When we say probability, it is a numerical description of how likely an event is to occur or how likely it is that a proposition is true. Probability is a number between 0 and 1, where, roughly speaking, 0 indicates impossibility and 1, of course, indicates certainty or 100% possible to happen. The higher the probability of an event, the more likely it is that the event will occur. Alright, so actually mga kamatinik, there are 6 types of probability. But let's just focus on these 2. Ano-ano yun? We have the experimental probability. It is the result, ayan, of an experiment, of course, or simulation after a large number of times. Pag sinabi naman nating theoretical probability, it is what is expected na natin to happen based on the possible outcomes, assuming equally likely events. Now, since we will be talking this topic, I want you to go back and review the relationship of these 3 concepts: fraction, decimal, and percent. Okay. To clearly visualize the concept of probability, we need to get our answer to fraction or decimal or in percent form. So, dapat balikan ninyo yung pinag-aralan natin kung paano ba natin i-change ang sagot from fraction to decimal, from decimal to percent, from percent and vice versa. I hope naalala nyo pa kung paano i-change ang mga sagot na yon because you will use that in this topic. For example, if we have 1/2, that means it is equal to 0.5 or 5/10 or 50 hundredths or 0.50, which means kaparehas lang din yan ng 50%, kalahati. Okay? Pag sinabi naman natin 1/4, it is equal to 0.25 or 25 out of 100 or 25 hundredths, which means it is equal to 25%. Pag sinabi natin 4/5, it is equivalent to 0.8 or 8/10 or 0.80 or 80/100, which means it is equal to 80%. Ayan. Sana hindi nyo nakakalimutan kasi may kinalaman yan sa ating aralin. In general, mga kamatinik, for example, we have this, no? An example, tossing a coin. Siguro naman madalas kayo mag-toss ng coin or mag-flip ng coin. When a coin is tossed, there are two possible outcomes. Ayan. We have the heads or tails. Ayan. Now, we say that the probability of the coin landing H or the head is 1/2. Bakit 1/2? Kasi 1 out of 2. And also, since dalawa lang naman yan, the probability of the coin landing the tail, because 1 out of 2 is also 1/2. Let's have another one. For example, throwing dice, no? Okay, marami. But when a single die ay itinapon natin, is thrown, there are 6 possible outcomes lang naman. Kasi merong 6 faces lang naman yung cube natin. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yan yung ating mga possible outcomes. So, the probability of any one of them na lalabas is 1 out of 6, and that is 1/6. Again, we use the formula in getting the probability of an event in general. Ito na yung sinasabi natin kanina. We have probability of an event happening is equal to, first, the numerator is the number of ways it can happen over yung ating total number of outcomes. So, gamitin natin yung formula. Let's have an example. Number 1. What is the chance of rolling a 4 with a die? Okay, meron tayong die. Siyempre, 6 faces yon, no? Ano daw ang chance na lalabas ang 4? Okay, now, there are number of ways it can happen. So, the first one is 4. Sabi natin, ano ang chance na lalabas ang 4? So, there is only one. There's only one face with a 4 on it. Diba? Sa isang cube, may isa lang na number. Sa bawat isa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then, total number of outcomes. So, dahil 6 lang naman ang faces, so, possible is 6. So, the probability of the chance of rolling a 4 with a die is 1 out of 6, which is 1/6. Okay, next, another example. There are 5 marbles in a bag. So, meron tayong 5 marbles in a bag. 4 are blue marbles and 1 is red marble. So, the question is, what is the probability that a blue marble gets picked? So, meron tayong 5 marbles sa bag. 4 doon ay blue, isa lang ang red. So, what's the chance? Okay, so let's use the formula. Number of ways it can happen. Ilan ba yung blue na nakalagay? We have 4. So, that's the possible ways. Ilan ba lahat ang marbles na nasa loob ng bag? That's the total number of outcomes. So, we have 5. So, the probability that a blue marble gets picked, of course, is 4 out of 5. So, that means it's 4/5. Nagkakaintindihan ba tayo? Now, to further discuss, we will focus now the other type of probability, which is experimental probability. Experimental probability, here are some words bago tayo mag-discuss. We need to understand more these words so that we will be able to understand clearly what this experimental probability is all about. Okay, so we have experiment. Ano bang ibig sabihin? Although, ginagamit nyo na ito in other subject like in science, no? We have trial, outcome, sample space, event, probability, experimental probability, and we have also prediction. Okay, now, when we say experiment, it is an activity involving chance. So, yung ginagawa mo, yung activity na ginagawa mo, ang tawag natin doon ay experiment. Parang kung sakaling gusto mong malaman kung anong magiging result, gagawa ka ng experiment or activity, and we call that experiment. Each repetition or observation of an experiment is a trial. Ibig sabihin, for example, no, ayan, ginagawa mo ng paulit-ulit, we call the trial. And each possible result, kung ano yung lumalabas doon sa every try mo, we call that outcome. Then the sample space of an experiment is the set of all possible outcomes. So kung ano yung mga possible na pwedeng lumabas. For example, we have the experiment rolling a number cube. Ayan. So alam naman natin yan. Pag tinanong ka about sample space, so what is the sample space of a number cube? So we have, so dahil may 6 faces lang ang cube, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have another experiment, tossing a coin. That's an example of experiment. So what are the sample space? We have, dalawa lang naman, the head and the tail. And we have another example of experiment, spinning a game spinner. Ayan, yung ruleta. So, ano yung mga sample spaces natin dyan? We have red, we have blue, green, and yellow. Okay. Kung 3 beses ka nag-try, so meron kang 3 trials. Okay. So, kung ang lumabas, for example, dito sa picture natin, ang lumabas ay green, so yun yung outcome. Green. Kung ano yung lumalabas o yung result na ginagawa mo every try, so that's the outcome. Okay? So, continue natin. Pag sinabi naman nating event, it is an outcome or set of outcomes in an experiment. So, pag pinagsama-sama mo na yung outcomes, yun yung event. Then, probability is the measure of how likely an event is to occur. Kung gaano kadalas lumalabas ang isang event. Okay? Probabilities are written as fractions, sabi ko nga, or decimals from 0 to 1, or, sabi ko nga, pwede ring percent from 0% to 100%. Okay, in order you to understand about the concept, eto na, para mas laling maintindihan. So, let us measure the likelihood kung gaano kadalas nangyayari ang mga bagay-bagay. So, we will use this chart. Okay? Of course, kapag imposibleng mangyari, the chance is 0% or 0.0, that's impossible to happen. Pag 100%, dito lang ako sa 100%, no? Pag 100%, lahat ay possible mangyari, that's certain. Okay? Okay. Paano naman, sir, kung halimbawa, ang result lang ay 1/4 o kaya 0.25 or 25% o mas mababa pa, okay, mas mataas sa 0 or mas mababa sa 50%, ang tawag doon is unlikely, no? Ibig sabihin nun, medyo mataas ang chance na hindi mangyari. Okay. Then, we have 1/2. Ito namang 1/2, that is 0.5 o kaya naman 50%, as likely as unlikely. Ibig sabihin yan, 50-50. Possible to happen and 50% impossible to happen. For example, mamaya bibigyan ko ng example. And we have also the 3/4 or 75/100 or 75%. These are likely to happen. Ibig sabihin, there is a big chance to possible to happen. Okay. So, ayun po ang ating different probabilities. Now, para mas lalo nating maintindihan, ito, kapag 0% to happen, that's impossible. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng impossible? Halimbawa, meron kang mga red marbles, tapos, anong chance na makabunot ka ng blue? Impossible kasi puro red marbles yon, di ba? Okay, naintindihan na yung impossible. Then, we will proceed to unlikely. Ito na. For example, ito yung die natin. There are 6 faces. So, ano yung chance na makakuha ka ng 1 out of it? So, 1 out of 6 kasi nga mas konti lang ang chance. So, we have unlikely. And yung even chance, ito yung as likely as unlikely, yung 50%. Ang halimbawa niyan ay yung tossing a coin. Kasi nga, dalawa lang naman yon, 1 out of 2 or 50%. And yung likely, eto na, medyo malapit doon sa 100%. So, we have 5 marbles. Then, meron doon 4 marbles. Isa lang yung red. So, the chance na mabunot mo yung blue marble is likely to happen. kasi mas marami. Pag sinabi natin certain naman, halimbawa, ayan na nga sabi ko, kung puro yan blue marbles, wala namang ibang kulay, 100% makakabunot ka or certain yung blue marbles. Okay? Again, probability is always between 0 and 1. Let's continue. Yan. Yan yung ating unlikely. Ayan yung ating even chance or 50%. Ito yung more than 50%. Ibig sabihin, mas maraming chance na maging possible. So that is a likely. Alright. Now, we can estimate the probability of an event by performing an experiment. Ito na nga, yung experimental probability. So the formula in giving the experimental probability is the number of times the event occurs over the number of trials. So wag niyong kakalimutan yan. So for example, so we cannot do an experiment live. Hindi tayo magkakaroon ng face-to-face. So, ang gagawin natin is, for example, I had an experiment. So, let's try an example of experimental probability. So, here is another concept. We can also use experimental probability to make predictions. So, in doing the experimental probability, the next time, you can also predict possible outcomes. So, when we say prediction, it is an estimate or guess about something that has not yet happened. Okay, so that is a prediction based on the experimental probability. Let's have an example of an experiment. For example, we had an experiment consists of spinning a spinner. So, use the results in the table to find the experimental probability of the event. So, nag-spin tayo. Here are the results. Sa green, meron tayong 15. Lumabas ang green. Sa orange, we have 10. Purple, we have 8. And pink, we have 7. So, what's the probability that the spinner lands on orange? Yan ang ating katanungan. So, let us use the formula. We have the number of times the event occurs over the number of trials. So, ilang beses ba lumabas yung orange? We have 10. So, you will add only the frequency. So, 15 plus 10, we have 25 plus 8, we have 33 plus 7, we have 40. So, that means we have 10 over 40. And to reduce it to lowest term by dividing the GCF, we have the final answer of 1/4. Or 25% chance, okay? Or probability that the spinner will land on orange. Okay, let's have another example. For example, we have also an experiment consists of spinning a spinner. So, use the results in the table to find the experimental probability of each event. So, meron tayong red, blue, and green lamang ang ating spinner, no? So, the result, 7 times nag-appear yung red, 8 times naman yung blue, then we have 5 on green. So, the question now is, what is the probability that the spinner lands on red? Sa red naman tayo. So, again, let us use the formula. Number of times the event occurs over the number of trials. So, ilang beses ba lumabas yung red? So, we have 7. Out of ilan lahat yung ating trials? So, just add the frequency, 7 plus 8, 15 plus 5, we have 20. So, 7 out of 20 or 720. Yes. Meron pa bang lowest term? Wala na. So, that's our answer. 7 over 20. Yes. Or, that is equivalent to how many percent? 35%. Okay? Let's continue with our experiment. Let us use the same experiment. So, but the question now is, what is the probability that the spinner does not land on red? Okay, kanina yung red. Ngayon, ang tinatanong, does not land on red. So, paano mo sasagutin yan? Okay, still, we will use the formula number of times the event occurs over the number of trials. Saan ba nakuha yung 13? Since nagland tayo sa red ng 7, so ang tinatanong yung hindi sa red. So we have blue and green. So we will add blue, 8 plus 5, we have 13. Over the total number of trials, 7 plus 8 plus 5, we have 20. So the answer is 13 over 20. Okay, let's have another example. A jar contains 3 red marbles, 7 green marbles, and 10 blue marbles. If a marble is drawn from the jar at random, What is the probability that this marble is blue? Ayan. Ayan yung given natin. So, the first thing to do is to put it in table. Let us put the different kinds of colors. We have red, green, and blue. So, given natin, we have available of 3 red marbles, we have 7 green marbles, and we have 10 blue marbles. To answer the probability that this marble is blue, just get or use this formula, probability of an event, frequency for blue color, kasi blue yung tinatanong, over total frequency. So, how many ang blue? Ilang beses? Or ilan ba ang possible para sa blue? We have 10 over 20. The total frequency po, lahat-lahat, ay 20. So, is it final answer? No. Reduced to lowest term, 10 over 20 is equivalent to 1/2 or 50% probability. So, I think we are done with our topic for quarter 4, week number 7. This time, to test if you really learned in our lesson for this week, get ready and say, Math try nga! Alright, calling of you grade 5 learners at yung mga grade 6 learners din, alam kong topic nyo rin ito. Please type or comment your answers in the comment sections of this episode. Just type your complete name, the name and location of your school para makilala ko kayo, and your answer. Again, there are only 5 items to answer. You can pause the question if you want to read and understand it over and over again. Are you ready? Let's do Math Try Nga! Alright, number 1. What is the sample space shown for rolling a number cube? Is it A, 1, 4, 5, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 2. What is the outcome shown for spinning a spinner? Is it A, red, B, green, C, violet, D, orange? Number 3. What is the probability of choosing green apple in a box of red apples? Is it A, certain, B, unlikely, C, impossible, D, as likely as unlikely? Number 4. 30 people were asked to choose between a white chocolate and a dark chocolate. 16 of them chose dark chocolate and the others chose white chocolate. What is the probability that the next person will choose white chocolate? Is it A, 1/2, B, 7 over 15, C, 8 over 15, or D, 7 over 30? Number 5. The blood groups of 200 people is distributed as follows. 50 have type A blood, 65 have B blood type, 70 have O blood type, and 15 have type AB blood. If a person from this group is selected at random, what is the probability that this person has O blood type? Is it A, 1/4, B, 7 over 20, C, 3 over 40, D, 13 over 40? Alright, I think you have now your answer. Kindly comment it now, and don't worry, I'll check your answer once you posted it in the comment section. And before we finally end, I would like to present to you our Mathinics of the week. Ang ating kauna-unahang sumagot ng tama at perfect score ay maraming salamat. Hindi tayo iniwanan nito, from Rizal Elementary School, ang aming school po. At maraming salamat from Section Eagle. Congratulations to Victor C. Arcega. Okay, ang ating second Mathnik of the Week ay nagmula naman sa EM's Signal Village Elementary School, Taguig City. Congratulations to Julian K. Harris. Ang ating third Mathnik of the Week ay from Taguig Integrated School, Santa Ana, Taguig City. Ang ating mga viewers, maraming salamat and congratulations to Randolph Onza. Ang ating fourth Mathnik of the Week ay siyempre nagmula naman sa Pasong Kawayan 2 West Elementary School. Congratulations from grade 5 Malines. Congratulations and thank you so much, Cyril May and Magamay. And ang ating panghuling Mathnik of the Week, ang pinaka Hall of Famer na sa lahat, from Pembo Elementary School, of course, ang ating kapitbahay. Thank you and congratulations to Prince William C. Perez. Ayan, muli maraming salamat sa lahat sa inyo and congratulations din sa iba pang mga bata or learners na nagsasagot din po at naglalagay ng mga sagot nila sa comment sections at nakakuha din ng kanilang perfect score. Okay, maraming salamat. Keep up your good attitude. Remember that the best way to learn is to apply what you have learned. And if you get a mistake, do not worry. That is another way of learning. Muli, taos-puso akong nagpapasalamat mga kaguro, mga magulang at mga mag-aaral mula Luzon hanggang sa Mindanao sa pagsama sa akin mula first quarter hanggang fourth quarter po dito sa ating school year na ito. God bless po. Huwag po kayong mag-alala. Kahit tapos na tayo, hindi pa rin ako mawawala. Marami pa rin akong gagawing mga content or episode. Okay? At magkita-kita po tayo. Wala pong iwanan. And that concludes our last episode for this school year. Again, maraming salamat po. See you in the next episode. Happy learning!